Hi, this is Jeffrey Smith from SEO Design Solutions. Just wanted to provide a couple of SEO tips. Often you'll note that people will target a very competitive keyword. What you really have to understand is that it's really about owning the conversation that surrounds an entire niche or an entire market, contextually that represents the way that people search. And so, for example, I'm using one of our favorite tools here. It's called HitTail, something that was created by Mike Levine from Connors Communication. They originally created the pay-per-click model for Amazon, but this is another free tool they've created that's very unique. It sort of references it's a piece of code that you place in the footer of your site, and then what it does is it tracks referral data of whenever a person conducts a search. It essentially highlights that search phrase and then allows you to reproduce it with a timestamp. And then also, in addition to that, it provides suggestions based on different types of data that it aggregates. But the beauty of this is that this tool allows you to find out what your site is ranking for and essentially the types of conversations that are happening right now that you're a part of. So let's just take this word impression conversion. Had this been a phrase that I were targeting, it would be something that I would like to have a landing page there for, but it's not something that you would go after directly. So these are considered long tail phrases where they're very random. They can occur when there's a particular shingle or phrase that occurs anywhere in the meta title, description, somewhere within the actual document itself, or a tag or the URL structure. And then as a result of that, it has enough relevance to rank for that. So long tail phrases contribute to essentially for example, our long tail phrases are represented by 82% of our traffic comes from the long tail, but our main phrases are 17% of our traffic, which are the top 10 phrases that drive traffic to our site. So what I'm getting at here is, although everyone wants to rank for the one-word phrase, the likelihood of doing that is there's two things you have to consider. One, it's going to take a long time to do that, but more importantly, if we were to scroll back through some of the logs, it's better to own phrases that are very specific to the type of service you want. And you have to think that people are actionable with their intelligence and they want to do things. The reason why they're searching is because they're actively looking for something. And so it's not just having a search result with a bunch of keywords thrown together. They're actually going to take the time, it might even only be a few seconds, but they're going to take the time and skim through the results. And based upon how compelling this call to action is and the snippet that you see on the search result is going to determine if they click your result or not. Now, it's very important as well to have a high click-through rate. So this is one of the main things because it's really about managing expectation. I mean, we could rank for web rates or anything else related to the conversation of pricing, but just as an example, the way that you optimize your title tags and the content on your site, the way that you link to yourself, ultimately determines how that site is treated or how that page is treated. So just to give you an example, this page is optimized for anything that deals with pricing, rates, fees, so on and so forth. We talked about this a couple different times, but I'll give you an example. So what happens is in the first stage of a website, as it's starting to gain authority, you want to start targeting something with exact match. And so, for example, the phrase search engine optimization pricing would be a type of keyword that I would type in to find this. Well, this happens to rank in number 2 position out of 342 million broad match phrases that are targeting this phrase in some way, shape, or form. And if we were to look in actual phrase match, we would determine it's not extremely competitive, but it's one of those things where it is part of the conversation. So what we've done is we've incorporated that into the title. We've also incorporated the word SEO, SEM, SEO rates, search engine optimization costs. So as a result of that, what you'll see is any time that any one of these phrases are used in conjunction, what it does is, since the site has enough authority or the page has enough authority, it's produced a stemming effect. So if I were to type in SEO rates, there's the page. If I were to type in SEO pricing, it's also in the top 5 results, or SEO fees for that matter. The whole idea behind this is, and here's another page, since we understand that rankings are by the page, so sometimes you want to build other subordinate pages that will support the main theme of your site, and then as a result of that, every time that you link from the subordinate page to the champion page, is just a phrase that we use, it's going to start ranking for that. So this is an excellent way of showing you how, by using internal linking within your own website, by creating a targeted location that will allow you to sort of summarize what the topic is regarding that keyword that you're targeting, So I've linked to it with SEO costs. So let's just try that for an example. And there it is. So this is no happenstance. This is really just about the layers of optimization that are applied. The first thing, obviously, creating a relevant title, creating relevant content within the site itself, creating relevant internal linking, and then you're going to start using off-page ranking factor. And so there are roughly 70 sites linking to this page specifically, or I should say specifically from other websites to this page. But if you were to look at the type of internal linking, I'm sure you're going to find, I'm almost a little reluctant to show you this, but just as an example, let's just go for the page links and not use Google. We will use another tool just to provide one layer behind the optimization experience. So you see that by using a variety of different keywords that you're able to provide that stemming factor. If we were looking from all pages, it says 71 links from other sites, but yet there are 2,540 that we're using from our own internal linking, from using the sidebar and other different types of tactics. So you can create that tipping point with any keyword, with any type of phrase, if you understand that it's really by the page, that you're targeting keywords that are literally by the page. So there's an example, the word SEO quote. There's a page that ranks in the something that really has maybe one mention of the word on the page ranking for that. The same thing. If we were just to try to rank for the word quote, it wouldn't really work so well because it's a very broad phrase. So once again, you want to use contextual modifiers to essentially dial in the types of phrases that you want to rank for, but you also want to provide an ideal landing page that's going to target the type of expectation that a person is looking for when they're using this search term. Because even though we have this specific understanding or this notion that we understand the language, you really do have to look into analytics to find out what kind of words people are actually using to find your site, so that you can create those types of those nodes of relevance, if you will, within your own context of your site, as well as optimize them by building backlinks and relevant content. So I hope this has helped. My name is Jeffrey Smith. Thank you so much.